Hey, you're listening to Headcanon Graps, and this is Off the Dome for Raw, September 30th. And please leave a like on the video, hit subscribe. I got a subscriber goal of trying to get to 15 people. And so, hey, help me reach that. This is a new channel, and so this is just one of the series I'm doing on the channel. And so let's jump right on into it. And we're going to break up the format this week. I want to start straight from that last Monster Standing match because I got some thoughts. As you can see from the thumbnail, I've got some thoughts. And I need to talk about the fact that, man, from start to finish, that was such an exciting and fun match. The way they had to build it around the commercial breaks and it's basically spot commercial, spot commercial, but the spots were fun, cringeworthy, and I've been getting tired of garbage matches lately, and I don't want to call them garbage matches lately, but like no DQ and whatnot. I think it works great for when the story has been built off of it, and I think you can have some fun ones. But between AEW and WWE combined, I feel like we get a ton of those, and we're going into the holiday period where we're definitely going to get. Well, we never know with this regime. It might be a new regime, but we get that Miracle on 34th Street fight. We get that pumpkin on somebody's head during a street fight as well, during the Halloween time, too. That's next month. Oh, don't forget about November, because, hey, somebody's got to get a pie in their face. And turkey has to come out, maybe a turkey suit, too. Who knows? So we always get those style of matches, and we've had just a lot of hardcore matches this year, and just in total. But what a match. Two big men just crashing into each other. A choke slam from Strowman to Reed from the jump. We're not wasting time. We're throwing off into these spots. This is only good for just a 5 count. Reed gets back up. They're scrapping it out. At some point, a bed of chairs is set up, and like each chair is facing each other. There's probably about maybe 7 or 8 chairs involved in this bed. And it's like it's right in front of the ring, right before you go down the ramp. Like as soon as you come down the ramp, right there, boom, set a bed of chairs. Man, Reed takes a bump from the ring, which it was a slow bump, but I don't blame him because, like, hey, take that safely, because like that, you got to pay me, boy, if you gonna have me go through that. But you can even see the chair's bent from it and everything. There's just different spots that were built around this that either made you cringe, made you go wow, made you just jump out of your seat. And you couldn't just sit down, you couldn't be quiet during it. And then you have later on, after another commercial break, Bronson Reed gets back up finally, pushes Strowman through the announcement area. Okay, cool. He gets up from that. And as he's getting up from that, I'm looking back and I'm like, yo, it looks kind of clear back there. It looks like there's like almost like another part he could go through. Homie took off for the second run. Strowman got up by 7. Reed said, that's not working for me, Jack. Runs him through the ring, runs him through another ring post and another barricade, and they're down. Live show audience getting hurt the plants in the crowd, but they're getting hurt too. But man, if you were there live for this match, I thought they were eventually going to take this backstage. The furthest we went back was we went down the ramp, and then we went to the left, and by the tech area we did a driver from off top of some boxes. Reed's holding Strowman up on the shoulders, does a driver through some tables. Crazy spot, but like each spot held you in there and kept your attention throughout the whole match. And so what fun. Reed gets Braun back in the ring. Tsunami, boom. Yo, ref. He's screaming at the ref because the ref is over here looking at the fans and helping security deal with the fans. But like, ref, your main job is not the fans. Your main job is not security. Your main job is counting, and you're not counting. So get in that ring and start counting. Reed get mad, and I'm like, Reed, you hit people for less with multiple tsunamis. You hit that man with one. Like, go ahead, homie. Go ahead back up to the top. But Reed hears me crying. He goes back up to the top. He jumps off, hits another tsunami. And we're just waiting, and we're waiting. Reed gets so mad, he starts going over like, yo, I'm going to get you myself then if you can't hear me. Starts throwing security into the ring, throws the ref into the ring. Then Pierce, he grabs the ref, throws the ref onto the ground. Pierce comes out of nowhere, tries to get him some, getting in his face. He's had enough of Bronson. Reed grabs him by the collar, holding him, yelling in his face. Then you got Strowman doing a tsunami of his own. And you got Tessitore over here. The humanity. Like, oh, all right, Tessitore, I see you. But then we get him in the ring. There's a set of steel steps that's just been in the ring. They do a superplex. The ring explodes. The ref falls out the ring. I almost missed the spot, and I know it's like the big spot of the match, because though I enjoyed the rest of this match, and I could almost sense that this was coming because they've been teasing that superplex spot for the last couple weeks, this felt like the weakest ring explosion that they had. Like, there's never going to be one like the first one. That first one is so clean. And then they did it again in 2011 with Mark Henry and Big Show at Vengeance. And then they did it again on Raw with Big Show and Braun Strowman when they were trying to build Braun up to be this monster. And then that ended up with them doing like a steel cage match where Braun basically threw Show out the cage and then walked out and declared himself the monster, the giant of all giants. And then... yeah, then this is it. And, like, I love the feud of this one. I love the fact that if you watch some of the Big Show Brock Lesnar match, when they did that on SmackDown back in the day in 2003, that was built up, and they had some teases during that match. And they kind of did it before with other matches that they've had this spot in, but the whole point of the match was building to that. This match had so many different elements built around it and so many other spots that it's just one spot of many in this match. And it's like basically the crowning jewel spot. And it was cool, but some of these other spots had a harder hit for me than that. But then that leads us to both men struggling to get up. Bronson looks like he's about to get up first. And then out of fucking nowhere, Seth Rollins comes out of here with a curb stomp and keeps Reed down. I love the sell job from Reed. Reed looked wild in that pose. I couldn't even find the photo for it for the thumbnail. I wanted to so badly. That pose was hilarious. But in all the best ways. Like, that was the best type of sell job for that. And Braun Strowman gets up and wins. And I went from happy and joyful to just booing and hissing at my TV, like, instantly. Like, I love Seth. I love Seth coming back to face Reed. I just wish we could have continued to build up Reed a little bit stronger and, give him this win over Strowman, a man that he's injured multiple times and attacked multiple times. And that's got it up on him multiple times as well. But you could have gave Reed this and kept building Reed up. Seth did not need to come back right now. The crowd took positive to it. It was a very positive pop. And it was very loud and very happy. And I'd be happy too if I just saw that man come out of nowhere. Reality sets in, and it set in a lot faster for me than I thought it would. But I didn't see that coming, and a surprise for the sake of surprises. I mean, hey, this was a show of surprises for me. And we'll get more into some of those surprises later on in this. But, yeah, Seth kind of just pooped out my parade there with that stomp. And if Reed wouldn't have won and Strowman would have, beat him, I mean, I'm not going to lie, I'd probably still be a little hurt too. But I think it's more about the fact that just let these, okay, you're selling me Godzilla and King Kong, cool, but why is Jack Sparrow coming out of nowhere to interrupt the fight? Like, what? That don't make no sense. Like that, you can't have the two kaijus and then the random man pop up in the kaiju fight. Like that just don't. This ain't anime. It is anime. Like wrestling is anime. And if you want to have that discussion, we can have that discussion on a whole nother episode, because wrestling is anime. But I don't know. We'll see where the story goes. I try to give faith in some of these scenarios, but I'm not a fan of Seth coming back right now. I think Reed should have won this match. I think it was built for Reed to win this match, and I think it could have just ended the Braun and Reed story a lot better, personally. So, but we can jump back to the start of the show, where we had a video package recapping last week, and after sitting on the win, I'm happy with my man, main event Jey Uso winning the IC title. We didn't know where people were going, but this episode kind of spelled out a lot for us when it comes to Jey and for Braun Breaker. So a lot of bronze on this trail. That's 3 bronze right there in a row already. So, but Jey comes to the crowd with his new gold Yeet shirt on, got his title, but I can't see. The title looks vaguely hidden at times at the very, very start. And then he's got his son with him, gets to dap up his son right before walking out. And that was like a real wholesome moment. And I'm like, okay, do your thing, man. And Jey comes down celebrating with the crowd, gets in the ring, gets to chat. And one thing I've noticed about Jey Uso is he plays off other people very well in promos. But some of his solo promos, I think his nerves might get to him. And I think without the right material or the right story to bite into, I don't think he's getting lost out there. I think it's just nerves, honestly. Because it felt like he was getting choked up from the real emotion from the crowd, chanting at him like, hey, you deserve it. And he kept having to throw in these yeets here and there to when he got thrown off, he was like, yeet, yeah, thank you, yeet. Yeah, I love you too, yeet. But then he started getting into it. He started talking about his mom too, and started talking about the fact that, the one family member I can't actually talk about, who I wanted to share this with, who I could call and share this with, was my mom. And she told me to go get it. And look, I got it, Mom. I did my thing. And y'all believed in me and y'all rolled with me. Even when my family was against me, when everybody else was against me, y'all rolled with me. So, hey, we did this thing. Then here comes Braun Breaker. Slow walk out to the ring. He's got a mic. I'm over here like, yeah, this man's playing coy. That's a red herring, that mic. This man's not about to say a word. He's about to spear this man out them glasses, and it's over. He's about to be pissed off. Braun comes out, cuts a promo, says, hey, I'm here to congratulate you. I respect the belt, and since you beat me for the belt, I respect you. I'm not here to spear you. And I'm like, he's calling me out. He's calling me out for even thinking that. But he compliment Jey, and he admits to Jey, hey, you were the better man. And I'm over here like, is this a babyface turn? Is this positivity I see? I'm like, nah. He's about to turn. He's about to get him at some point. He's about to get him. We get an acknowledgement. Jey even acknowledges that, hey, the dogs are barking here. And the dogs do bark. Braun flashes his smile at Jey and leaves. And I'm like, oh. Is this a peaceful dismount? What? Is this over? Really? No brawl? No fight? And I think we get a little more of a taste of where Braun's going later on in the night when he interacts with somebody later on, and I love that interaction, and I have an idea of where that might be going to, so we'll get to that. But then we can jump right into Ray and Xavier Woods, and I got lost in half of this match because they kept saying, oh, the New Day haven't won tag team titles in 3 years. And I was just like, wait a fucking minute now. I know that's been the story, but wait the fuck a minute. Did I miss something? And maybe we're just sticking to the main roster titles, but I had to look it up. The New Day last were tag team champions just February 4th of last year when they won them off of Pretty Deadly in November of 2022 and held them through 2023 until February. So it ain't been no 3-year drought. It's been a little over a year. Like, take a breath with all the drought and stuff. But I don't think the tag team titles is the complete story. I think it might be part of the story. I think the whole core of the story is Xavier Woods' confidence. And does he belong as a main eventer, or is he just the tag along? And throughout this match, Ray keeps messing with his mask. You can tell like he's having, usually when he's messing with his mask because he has mask issues and he can't see. Well, comes to play in the end when he goes for a 619. He's fiddling with that then. They go for a little exchange because it's slightly countered, and they're squaring off in the ring. And when they go for this little move and Ray pops his head out, Xavier ends up getting Ray's mask by accident. Or is it by accident is the question. But then he looks at the mask, has this panicked face, throws the mask down, looks at Ray, and it almost has this look on his face of, oh, it's an opportunity. I see a dub. Let me get a dub. Rolls Ray up and gets the dub in that situation. And then it's just like, oh, I swear, it wasn't, I wasn't trying to do it on purpose, I swear. So we get to the back, Xavier, he's happy, but you can tell he's kind of down about it because it's not the way he really wanted to win. And throughout this segment with him and Kofi, he at times I can rock with Xavier, and at times Xavier's being like the sour friend. He's just like, he's talking about, oh, I thought you'd be happier about my win, and then Kofi's like, well, yeah, but like, did you mean to win like that? Were you trying to win like that? And then Xavier's like, nah, that was an accident. I would never. Ray's a legend. I would never do that to Ray. And you got Karrion just lurking in the back like a creep. Like, Karrion, dog, go home, Karrion. And like, I got a theory later on that like, and it's not a long theory, and I'll just say it now, he's just trying to be the mid-card puppeteer of people's heel turns and whatnot, because he's trying to turn Xavier, and he might have gotten to somebody later on in the night, so we'll cover that person later, but he seems to just be the master puppeteer of what he's trying to get under people's skin and people who are under losing streaks and they down on themselves. So he's trying. I don't know. We'll see. I asked for something for Karrion. I'm usually never lit on fire by what Karrion gets. But basically Kofi states, oh yeah, I was talking with Jay, and Jay was talking about an IC title match, and Xavier was like, oh yeah, go ahead, blaze your way to glory. Wow. I'll support you. He's just being sarcastic as shit, and it's just like, yo, take a breath, because you're wrong. It's not for me. I actually told him you should get the title shot. And so next week it's gonna be Xavier Woods versus Jey Uso for the IC title. And I forgot to even say in the last segment, but by gorgeous, by beautiful, as a Detroit Lions fan, we just won the night too, 42-29 over the Seattle Seahawks. Take that, Daniel Bryan. Oops, I don't know where that came from. Anywho, they put the Honolulu blue that the Lions wear, which is not just strictly a Lions thing, but it's also been in multiple versions of the IC title throughout the years. The egg design that Randy Orton, RVD, Edge, Kurt, all of them wore during the Attitude Era. That belt had that blue in it. They put it in the New Age belt now. They added it as an addition. Yeah, you can play off the yeet with it, but also it plays off the history of the IC title. Even as the white strap with the old classic white strap that Cody brought back in 2011, that had blue in it. and just a lot of different versions had at least the globe or maybe the water or something on the belt had some type of that Honolulu blue. So it's beautiful to see that on Jay's belt, and I hope that's just a main fixture of the belt permanently. Like, I just hope whoever wins that from here on out just keeps it there. I hope that's not just a Jay Uso exclusive, because it just adds a little something extra to that belt. And I was kind of a fan when it first came on the scene. I've sat on it a couple years and I kind of didn't like it, and then I've kind of become more fond of that 2011 design. I didn't like it at first because it's too old school for me at first, or it was. But then, like, I don't know, the design grew on me. I almost bought the belt. It was like $100 on Amazon the other day. But I don't need another belt. So, but with that being said, next week, who knows where the story goes? I do not believe Xavier Woods beats Jay Uso next week. But is this a full-blown heel turn next week? Do we get a more downtrodden, sad, okay, I went about it the wrong way, we got to get back to the grassroots of who the New Day is? We'll see how and where the story goes, especially with what happens later on. So let's cover the PFC versus Lyra. Well, they come backstage. We had a backstage segment where Sonya's here to intimidate. And then you got Shayna in the back shuffling cards because, she the queen of aces. So she gotta shuffle cards and do all that. And I don't know. If you come up on me, you start shuffling cards, I'm going to start laughing at you. Because, like, what we doing? We playing poker, or are you trying to intimidate me? What is this? What are we doing, fam? So, but they talking about the match that comes later on in the night. But then that jumps us to the match, actually, with Lyra versus Zoe Stark. And in the way that Melo's developing as like a good act on SmackDown, like a good heel act on SmackDown coming from NXT, I think Lyra is slowly becoming that as well for herself on Raw. And I just think she needs, where Melo has a lot more of that story with LA Knight and a stronger focused feud. I love the fact that she got the spotlight through the tournament. I love the fact that she got the spotlight, like, she's kind of the Becky's friend spotlight, which is a positive and / a negative to me, because, like, you can also be just only known as somebody's friend too, and that ain't it. So I hope she can craft her own identity in that. But, and to say all that I just need to see more. I want to see her in a more focused story, even if it is with somebody in the PFC, just the Pure Fusion Collective. Let's put her with somebody and just build a feud between that. And Zoe's been growing on me, especially since I saw her at Survivor Series last year. Her performance didn't blow me away at Survivor Series, but I like her as a live performer. She's very energetic, and then she's always going and trying to get it, and she's doing her thing in the ring and getting better every time I see her. And I mean, all due respect when I say this, she's the Shelton Benjamin of the women's division. And I mean it in this way. If you watch that Money in the Bank ladder match and the last two Money in the Bank ladder matches, actually, she's been in both of them. And she has been basically the highlight athlete in the match, like Shelton used to be. So in that regard, I think she is that Shelton Benjamin of the women's division. But looking at this match, she ends up hitting her Z360 after a little distract, gets the dub. Pure Fusion Collective stands strong. They try to attack Lyra after the match a little bit more. Carter and Chance comes out to save. And then there's this moment where Shayna is choking the mess out of Chance. And Carter just runs smooth past Chance and just leaves her. But there's nobody that she's running towards. She runs and there's nobody at the other side of the ring. And I mean, to give her credit, the later part of the spot is Chance gets out eventually, but like chances of getting choked when you just got in the ring. So like, though she got out of it, that was like 5 more seconds of getting choked that she didn't need to have happen, that you could have saved her. So what you doing? So, and then they get into this exchange, and then Carter and Chance end up hitting their finish on the PFC. And I'm just like, yo, y'all can't heat this heel grew up. Oh my God, where are my words? Off the dome, y'all. We really going off the dome. But they can't even heat the heel group up to save their lives. Like, they get a couple wins and then they lose instantly. Like, this is not Damage Control, where, I mean, they did kind of the same thing with Damage Control, where they should have won the tag team titles off rip the first time, but they let them lose in the finals, and then in the rematch they got them back. At least that was for the titles, and at least they got titles out of it. But like, these are like not even title matches. PFC's lost across the board. Like, why are people to boo these people? Why are people to care about these people? Especially with those promos where they're supposed to like be intimidating folks earlier in the night. Last week they had a whole segment about intimidating folks. But like, and we're the cream of the Raw division. But like, how are you? And how are we supposed to take you serious like that? And then I got cooked clearly in some of these segments tonight, because CM Punk comes out next, and I'm seeing him in all white, and I'm like, oh snap, this man's about to bleed. Just getting ready for the weekend, huh? Just prepping. CM Punk, Drew, gonna have a little chat inside Hell in a Cell in the ring on Raw, with Adam Pearce passing the mic back and forth to each other, to them, with security hitting these elite measures to block them so they can't get to each other. Punk's on one side, Drew's on the other. Punk doesn't want to say anything, so Drew cuts his promo first, basically wearing an all-black suit. And I love the dichotomy between the black and the white, and you can say it's the good and the evil of it all, and the black and the white of the situation. But I thought it was also teasing something more that we didn't really get to. But the suit was also, as Drew said, not only in memorial for Punk and for Punk's wife to have to deal with putting up Punk being injured and not being able to help himself, and the fact that she might end up just even leave him in the end because of how broken he is after Hell in a Cell. That, hey, it's in memorial for him, and then also he's going to wear the same suit because it's a tux, and he's going to go party because it's in celebration for him. Punk gets past the mic because he says he wants to talk, but by the end of it, Drew finishes off his promo stating, you know what? In the cell on Saturday, all this hate in my heart, it ends on that day. And that's it. Once I kill you, all that hate will dissipate and I'll be free of you and I can move on with my life. And Punk basically got past the mic and stated, I hate you. I really have no words to say to you. You're scum. You've always been scum. He ain't say that. I just started cutting a promo out of nowhere. But I'm gonna send you home in a box to Scotland. And I'm like, oh, that's crazy. In a box. This man said, I'm not gonna kill you. And the next week, I'm gonna kill you. The escalation is crazy. But by the end of it, genuinely no physical contact. I was cooked. I was like, oh, we were just wearing these colors for show. Like, this wasn't like a tease. This wasn't like a, hey, get ready for a bloody segment. This was nothing. Blown away by that. But Braun Strowman getting interviewed in the back by Kathy Kelly. Miz comes up. Miz is trying to talk to Braun like, yo, look, you was talking about me not being able to do what I needed to do last week, and then you got in the way from me trying to do what I needed to do last week. And then out of nowhere, R-Truth comes up. And folks, I'm going to keep it a buck with you. Ron Killings, the person I'm a fan of, that's a hard-working man, and he has waded through a lot of different things. He's gotten through a lot of crappy material, And that man has made a lot of gold out of it. And a lot of people laugh. For me, it ain't it, though. Most times, his comedy, it ain't it. And whatever he's being scripted, it ain't it. Because to me, it's the black man made to look dumb. What city we in? Oh, we in Washington. Oh, we in Los Angeles, homie. Like, come on, man. Oh, I'm going to cash in my money in the bank. It's the Royal Rumble, homie. Like, come on, man. Like, I have twisted feelings inside about that because I'm not a fan of that. I've never been a fan of the jokes. I liked it back when there was little Jimmy and whatnot, but here's the thing. He has not evolved. He has not grown. He's not really become smarter or wiser as a character. Jey Uso has grown as a character. Sami Zayn has grown as a character. All these people, to be on the roster as long as he has. Kofi Kingston, somebody who's been on the roster equally as long, has grown way more as a character. Got way more character development on this one episode of Raw alone than Truth. And it's I hope we get something coming out of what comes next, but I don't know. I don't know. But Truth gets them a match with the op. I can't even say the way he was saying it, but with the op basically. And then Miz like AOP, and you could tell Miz is like, and then Miz was like, oh, you didn't tell me you were coming back. And Truth was like, huh? And he was like, you were injured by Bronson Reed. And Truth was like, I don't remember that. And that was it. That's the moment, folks. Bookmark that moment. I don't remember that. Truth saying I don't remember that is why some people just get kicked in the head. And that's crazy. But that's life. But once again, I think some of this is all because of Mr. Puppet Master Karrion Kross. Yuck. Sammy got interviewed, still pushing for the opportunity against Gunther. A little bit more later on about that. Judgment Day, we get a 6-man tag. And you gonna see you see it in the thumbnail now. I had to wipe my ass a little bit with some of that by the end of the night because of that little main event finish. But man, Joe Tessitore blew my mind when he said they have dirty Dom toilet paper. I'm like, there's no fucking way WWE Shop has some fucking toilet paper with a man's face on it. And then I went on there, blown away. Blown away, that shit is real. That's remarkable. Hey, make y'all buck, especially to the folks who buy it. Do y'all thing. Wipe your ass with his face. Do y'all. It might be a joke gift for my for somebody I know. Because that's wild to me. That's absolutely wild to me. But I'm happy to see Dragon Lee back on my TV constantly. Keep him on my TV. I hope they can build him up. Because LWO, it's a nice, fun, scrappy group. And it was a good match. They had some fun springboard spots coming out of this match. But out of nowhere, earlier in the night, Judgment Day were outside. They were chatting. They were like, where's Finn at? We get a call. Dom gets a call from Phineas. And this man's like, I got travel issues. And I'm unable to make it right now, but I'll be there. Well, Mr. Expedia finally showed up and played spoiler to the LWO, costing them the match and helping the Judgment Day win. And all I got to say is travel problems my ass. That's all I got to say to that. But Finn, did we get a little promo after Finn declares that he'll be the one to beat Damian? And hey, that in the end, he needed the Judgment Day. They didn't need him. And Liv declared her victory over Rhea, and then Rhea comes out. Rhea brings the shark cage and declares her victory. So everybody just out here declaring something. I'm about to declare something in a minute, but you can hear Priest coming from behind in Rhea's promo because the way the crowd starts getting up for it, they start getting loud and boisterous for it. Liv leaves and leaves Dom just getting thrown into the cage constantly. Dom, the door opens by Rhea. Rhea's about to throw Dom into the cage to shut it because Mr. Claustrophobic can't handle it. Liv comes back to save her man. She takes out Rhea. Then you got in the ring, they beating down on Priest. And they put a prolonged beat down on Priest with a couple of coup de grâces on him. And I genuinely can see Finn winning this match at Bad Blood. Because I think the story should be, hey, did Finn have a point? Did Priest actually need the Judgment Day? That helps grow his character. That helps give him some more depth. And that gives him some chance to actually reach into something. And have the Judgment Day help beat him. Like, he helped the Judgment Day here, so I'll have the Judgment Day help beat Priest on the weekend. And then build this up, and I say finish this match off in a steel cage match at Saturday night's main event. If you can get it that far, I think you can get it that far. And rock with it there. So, because I think that'd be a nice little holiday match to end the year with Priest putting his Judgment Day folks to bed. He goes on the Raw first episode, cuts a promo talking about, I put my past behind me. I'm looking forward to the Royal Rumble. I'm going to declare myself for the Royal Rumble. Hey, told you, we declaring shit out here. And he moving forward to WrestleMania. So, and who knows, maybe even we get one last interaction where either I think he dumps Finn out the Royal Rumble. Because I think if Finn dumps him out, I think then it spoils and it runs us into like, oh, we got to have another match now. I'm not trying to have that. So, but I'm curious to see where we go with that. And if you like that idea, drop a comment below and let me know. And if you don't, drop a comment below and let me know. And let me know what you'd rather see happen. I'm down for all the feedback. So, but Damage Control calls out Jade and Bianca for a tag team title match to be determined. We get Gable and Kofi next. Kofi's out here. Kofi let Xavier do his solo thing, and I was like, all right, I already see problems because here comes Xavier down with Kofi. I wonder where we going with this. We get some nice little mat wrestling in the beginning, and there's this, like, I don't even know what the move was that Gable did, but like he threw almost like a leapfrog. He threw Kofi, and Kofi didn't take the traditional way going up, but the way he leapt up, like he almost didn't have any bounce when he landed, and it was like so cat-like and so like quiet the way he landed. I was like, oh, that's smooth, homie. Go ahead, do your thing. Keep doing your thing. I like that. But Gable hits a huge German to Kofi on the floor. Gable also, I'm just watching this match. I'm getting excited because I'm just thinking about it. I'm just like, yeah, they sent Gable to rock bottom with that Wyatt 6 feud, but I think the whole point of that was if you send him down to the rock bottom, you can just rebuild him back up one by one. Once again, it's not the way I would have done it. But that's my little bias he's kicking in because I'm a fan of Chad Gable. So what can I say? But once again, as a fan of Chad Gable, watching him do his thing in this match, I'm having a ball. And then another random thought I had was, man, I literally have to look into my closet right now. I have 6 pairs of Jordans, and it's all because of wrestling, man. Because Roman to Kofi to Finn with them Judgment Day Nikes, and I saw Rhea when I was at the Raw after WrestleMania 39, which boo and hiss to that Raw, boo and hiss just to the max. Her and Bianca came out in some Jordans, and they had that segment where they were just talking back and forth and teasing a match, which I thought was for WrestleMania 40's like night one main event, which it might be either. I really think it's going to be 42's main event, night one main event, but we'll see. But with that being said, their Nikes were so clean, and I'm just like, I'm looking at Kofi's in this match, those green Nikes. I'm just like, wow. Everybody got these Jordans and they so clean, and like it adds this like cool flair and flavor to wrestling that just wasn't there before. That like it's not just a set of wrestling boots. It's like, I don't know, it's street fashion. It's kind of cool. And you had Cena kind of do that with his with his blow up shoes, and then you've seen even the Bucks do it recently. So I don't know. I like that. So I just wanna comment on stuff like that when I see it. So, and my little random thoughts, because we off the dome, folks. By the end of this, Xavier, trying to be the helpful one, trying to be the team captain, tries to call a play, but he calls a play without throwing communication. Kofi throws Gable into the ropes, setting up for a trouble in paradise. Xavier, trying to be Mr. Big Smarts outside, grabs Gable's legs. Kofi's already in the air, throwing the kick, thinking Gable coming back off the rebound. Kofi hit the mat. Gable looked back like, oh, well, damn. Thank you. Then grabs Kofi, hits the Chaos Theory, and pins him. Kofi looking pissed. And I'd be pissed too. I would be livid if it was me. What you helping for? You want to help? Ask me next time, homie. Like, stop. And then you get to this point where I don't even want to forget it. So later on in the night, there's a segment where Gunther's being interviewed. During that segment, in the back, if you look, Kofi and Xavier are going to town in an argument in the back. And they are going back and forth. And I'm putting my hands together in a praying motion right now. I hope that you don't break my brothers up, but I hope you give my brother some depth. Because the New Day deserves some great character depth. And like I told y'all earlier, I think the story is Xavier's confidence. And does he belong as a main eventer, or is he just a joke? Is he the Krillin of the team, or can he be a part of Goku and Gohan and Vegeta and Piccolo and Trunks? Can he be a part of the team, or is he the towel boy? Is he the guy for the jokes and the laughs and the trombone? Is he the funny guy, or can he be an actual serious competitor? And I think that's the main story, that addressing his confidence and trying to build that up. And maybe next week he goes to face Jay and he tries to cheat, because then he tries to cheat here and it cost his friend the match. And he tried to cheat earlier in the night, and though he won, it didn't feel good for him. And so if he tries to do it again, maybe he has the spot where he can actually beat Jay for the title, but then he decides to not go for it. Maybe Kofi even talks him out of it. Maybe it leads to a match where they get angry and they got to have one match together, but we can have a match and we can then hug it out after too. So I hope that that's the direction we're going in, but we're doing it with some depth to then grow us and give a strong story to that chase for that 10th anniversary title win. And then to me, that makes it more special. It makes it a lot more special. And that leads us to Gunther and Sammy, and Mr. Disrespectful himself, Gunther, coming down to the ring, annoyed with Sammy and his tears and all his begging about wanting to have a title match. Sammy hears his name being called, magically teleports the gorilla, his music hits, and he comes on out. And I just had this question as he was walking out. I was like, by the first Raw in December, could Jay and Sammy be the two top champions on Raw? I think it's a strong possibility. Genuinely. But that leads me to look at maybe... I think this was a tough crowd tonight. And I think it across the board. Like, Punk and Drew didn't seem to have the loudest reactions earlier that most folks did. Kofi and Gable got good reactions, but I don't feel like it got as loud reactions as they could have got. And certain segments really did get louder reactions out of fans, and so maybe they just didn't bite on everything, and maybe some of the talking segments weren't it for them, and they were just here for the ring action. But I don't know, it just seemed kind of quiet during this segment. But Gunther claims that Sammy is the biggest embarrassment of his career. Gunther even his daddy is disrespectful. Talking about at WrestleMania, his daddy said, "I came all the way so I could see you lose to this bum. Are you happy with this?" And he's just like, "Sammy, it's okay for you to lose, and for you to even lose in front of your family, because you're a bum and you're used to that. So like, it's cool for you to do that. I'm not of that status. I'm not of that brand." And so he beats him down, and they announce it later on in the night. He gets so angry with Sammy continuously coming at him that he finally just acquiesces and says, "I'll give you the match." And it's going to be next week on Raw. And so I think next week on Raw, Sammy's taking that L. Nice and easy L. Maybe even because of Ludwig. And then I can see him facing Ludwig one more time at Crown Jewel. While I think a later opponent has already been determined for Gunther at Crown Jewel. And we'll get to him in the next segment, actually. Well, no. This is my show. I'm doing it when I want to. Braun Breaker comes back later in the night after he's confirmed that, like, oh, hey, yeah. After Gunther's confirmed, yeah, I'm giving Sammy the title match next week. Braun Breaker walks up out of nowhere, looks at the world title, stares at it for a minute, and he's just like, "I just wanted to see what it looked like." And then Gunther was like, "Wow." Basically like the balls of this kid. Like, you really are the badass. And I'm like, yeah, but like, you saying it is making it a little less cool for me right now. But we get through that, and he's just like, "I'm going to be seeing you a lot sooner than you think." I think Braun Breaker could be Gunther's opponent at Crown Jewel. And I don't think Braun Breaker is going to win that match. I think that's another humbling experience, but on Braun Breaker's babyface turn, he's got to learn how to mix his aggression with his more humbled side now. And him losing that title humbled him, but I think he's also looking at the Gunther projection of, you know what, I lost it, but on to better now. On to something big, not better, but on to something bigger. And so he's going to let Jago do his thing, and he's going to go after the world title. And so I like that for Braun. We're moving him forward. We're letting Jay breathe. Jay's not going to be some transitional champion. And by doing this, you're kind of also just marking that to folks that, hey, he's not just dropping it right back to Braun. So, like, don't think that. And I'm curious to see where it goes, because I think the IC title can be a great thing to help grow Jay, especially if it gives him a lot more promo time alone. I think it can help grow Jay as a character. And as Braun, I think it helps put him in a bigger spotlight, going after a bigger belt. And I like that. So, and nothing wrong with the IC title. He definitely had a lot more to do with it, but if we're on to bigger and better already, hey, let's rock with it. I'm with it. So, Miz and Truth versus AOP. Folks, I did not write a dang thing about this match, because this is how we going to run through it, because we're going to do it real quick. Miz had it. Miz made his point. Miz said, "Yo, Truth, you cost me the tag team titles. You kept putting me in all these random ass matches and helped me get my ass beat that, yeah, I had to fight on my own and escape through. You kept fucking me over with the Judgment Day stuff and doing all that silly shit. And then lastly, finally, I'm over here getting my ass beat going into fights that I don't want to go into with Bronson Reed for you, because he killed you. And you were one of my only friends I had on this show. And you come back and you tell me all the beatings and sacrifice I've been going through. You don't even remember the beating you took personally? It's not even a thank you for all you've done or having my back or being here supporting me. You just gonna come back and be on goof shit and then put me in another match? Yeah, homie, I'm done. Miz turned around and as soon as he got tagged in, hopped around, joking like he was about to go after AOP, kicked Miz in the kicked Truth in the face, strolled out the ring, ripped off his Awesome Truth shirt, and moved on to the back. And I said, good for you. And so, folks, wrapping up, that's the end of the show because we already talked about the last Monster standing. So next week they got the world title match with Sammy and Gunther. They got the Donnybrook match between Sheamus and Pete Dunne, which should be fun. They got the IC title match with Jay and Woods, where I think we're definitely gonna get that next step for where Woods might be going. Where Woods, we'll see if Woods is gonna be a full blown heel or if Woods is gonna flirt with it, but then turn away from the dark side. And then, honestly, next week, I think the world title match, I think Sammy loses. Gunther goes to Braun. And then I think we're just killing time for Survivor Series in Canada. Because I truly do think if we're just flipping and keeping things fresh and trying to make these later months feel surprising and brand new instead of holding on to these title wins and giving a world title win to Sammy out of nowhere, and then maybe he loses it once again to Gunther at Saturday night's main event. Maybe we build that up there too. Hey, it might not be a long world title reign, but if there's no time or no plans for Sammy to have one anytime soon, or maybe you want to give the world title to John Cena at WrestleMania, give Sammy his moment too with the belt, so he can be a stronger character for it, and then we can find somewhere else for him at Mania. But with that being said, WrestleHook Podcast, we're going on live tomorrow. And we're doing a post NXT show covering the CW debut with the title matches. And then we will also be doing a Bad Blood predictions video this weekend. Or not predictions video. We'll just be covering it post this weekend on Sunday. So definitely be looking out for our channel. Subscribe to me, and hey, follow us. I'll see you later in the week, folks. Peace.